Tallahassee.
Yeah, just as we go ahead and start things off for this 11 p.m., so I just wanted to go ahead and say I'm Casey Clapp.
I'm student meteorologist Jay Carstens.
Yeah, so we're watching this situation very closely this evening, and we're giving you the latest information as it does come out. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about some of the school altering times for tomorrow.
Yeah, starting off, the first development of the day was Leon County Public Schools is closing its doors for classes tomorrow. There will be no classes for any of the elementary, middle, and high school students. That is expanded later on tonight into the universities around town. Tallahassee Community College is going to be delaying its opening until noon tomorrow. FAMU, FSU, delaying until 10 in the morning.
Yeah, so keep that in mind. FSU, again, if you have an 8 o'clock class and class a little bit later on in the morning, 9:05, you won't have those tomorrow, so just bear that in mind. You get a little more sleep, keep an eye on the situation as well.
Yeah, now with that being said, those storms are beginning to move their way into the viewing region. Again, we're going to be seeing them rolling in the next couple of hours. They've spawned numerous warnings throughout the past couple of hours across much of the western panhandle.
Yeah, we're monitoring this very closely right now here across our area. So what we'll do is I'll go ahead and take a look here at this situation. We're talking about this tornado watch going in effect here until 4 a.m. tomorrow morning. So a situation that does bear in mind, watching very closely here. We're watching this for everybody here at home. Conditions favorable for tornadic activity any close to the watch area. So just make sure you stay safe out there if you're going around now. As I break down some more information, we'll get over here and in towards some of our other graphics as well. Looks like we're having some technical difficulties here with our clicker, so what I'll do is I'll step up and we'll go ahead and go over to that local radar and see exactly what is headed our way here on here as we get out toward areas west of Apalachicola, so Panama City. We'll be getting into some shower and thunderstorm activity here in just a little bit. We'll be monitoring it as it gets closer toward our area, and we'll be giving you the latest information, livestream.com/FSU Weather. Again, keeping everybody safe out there. That's what it's all about, folks. Now, going ahead and getting into some more of our weather situation, we do see satellite and radar-wise showers and thunderstorms out toward New Orleans earlier on. Some serious damage there, serious damage around Pensacola. And this will be translating off further toward the east as we get later in toward the overnight hours. So we'll be watching this closely here with the latest information for everybody. Now, forecast for tonight, Tallahassee, 64 degrees. Heavy storms will be around. Just make sure you stay inside. Those southwest winds 10 to 20 miles an hour. So, again, we do have that tornadic conducive situation around here this evening. Now, for your forecast, as we go ahead and look and see what's ahead, we do see severe weather tonight, windy and cloudy, but those cooler temperatures will start to make their way in toward the region as we get later in toward the weekend, into your weekend as well. It'll just be beautiful out there, folks, so enjoy it. But again, we got to get down to business with this situation here. Serious weather going on this evening. We do see, we're monitoring this very closely with Pensacola. In fact, we're talking about some serious conditions in toward that area.
Yeah, very much so. There was a tornado that did fire up near Pensacola, caused some significant damage just about a couple of hours ago. That has begun to track its way eastward, affecting regions such as Crestview and the central parts of the Panhandle as well.
Yeah, very volatile situation, storm system there, and I'll be watching it as it does continue to march east here over the next several hours. Pensacola right now, still unconfirmed reports out of there, so we'll gather those for you, have updates as we get them for you. But we've seen some of the pictures and images and videos as well, and we're talking about some pretty serious damage, it looks like.
Yeah, we can only speculate as to what they're going to rate it as on the EF scale, of course, because they have to conduct damage surveys of the region before really determining. That's how they determine those tornado intensities, after all, by measuring not the wind speed necessarily, because it's just too strong to do that, but to measure the damage associated with the storm as it carried through whatever area it went through.
Yeah, that'll be done as the National Weather Service goes out there tomorrow and in toward later into the week as well. As that does come to fruition, we'll know exactly what the ratings were, but don't want to speculate too much, but it looked like strong tornado damage for sure in those communities.
Yeah, our prayers are definitely there with them and through all the victims, really, of all these storms as they've carried throughout the night and into the overnight hours.
Yeah, we'll be giving you the latest information on this as conditions warrant. But right now, I'm going to take it out for a first local with Andres.
Thank you very much, Casey. As we can see over here, we have some really, really strong storms that are coming in from our west. Right now, it's hitting around Dothan, and also earlier we had really a strong storm that produced a tornado over here in Pensacola. So please, folks, if you have anybody in the viewing area, any family in the viewing area, please tell them to don't take this lightly. These are very strong storms that have produced tornadoes and have produced some strong winds and have caused a lot of damage. So please, folks, please don't take this lightly. Make sure that you stay tuned to us, stay tuned to your weather radios, and you continue to monitor the coverage because anything can pop up at any minute. And as you can see, that Tallahassee, we're currently under a tornado watch, and it's going to last about 4 o'clock in the morning. So until then, we're not out of the woods, especially since this storm system has not made it our way quite yet. Zooming out a little bit, we can see the broader range of this cold front that's coming our way that's producing all of these storms throughout the day. As you can see, we also have some very strong storms that pass by Montgomery. They're on the tail end of their storms, but for the most part, we have this Gulf moisture that's just streaming up towards the north, and it's helping these storms develop. We have very, very high dew points around the area, and it's causing, the higher the dew points, the better the chance that it's going to be for these storms to be as severe as we're expecting them to be. So please, folks, monitor the situation along with us. Keep track with us. Stay tuned with us. Just please don't take this lightly because your life is at risk, and we want you to be as safe as possible, folks. So monitoring the situation as we continue on. We can see the severe weather outlook. I'll move ahead to this other side over here, and we can see that we're under the moderate risk, just on the tail end of it, right over here. And the moderate risk stands for that we have a higher chance for severe storms, that they're going to happen, and these storms are very, very likely to produce tornadoes, as they already have a history of producing, folks. So please make sure you pay attention as this Gulf moisture is just streaming up towards the north ahead of this front is producing these temperatures. But current temperatures right now, 69 degrees here in Tallahassee, 69 in Wilma. For the most part, the whole viewing area has uniform in temperatures and also in dew points. Look at 65 here in Tallahassee, 66 in Wilma, 68 in Apalachicola. There's a lot of moisture for this storm to play with out there, folks. And we have very strong winds out of the south, 25 in Panama City earlier. And as we can see here, the moisture, look at that. This is the upper levels. So the lower levels and the upper levels are very, very saturated. But for tonight, it's going to be 64, heavy storms, 80% chance. And moving on into tomorrow, it's going to be 70. Conditions are going to become drier later on, but we still have a 60% chance of storms for tomorrow. So please stay tuned as the situation continues. But moving on to the 7-day forecast, we can see that after the storm passes, the system passes by, we're going to have very, very clear skies, very, very clear skies. The high is going to be 63 on Thursday, 61 on Friday, 62 on Saturday. It's going to be beautiful the rest of the week. So pay attention to us tonight and to your local radios and things, folks, so we can get through the night. But after this, we will be out of the neck of the woods. And I'm going to pass it on to Colleen for a look at Florida.
Yes, the current conditions in Florida, they're taking a look outside of what's going on out in the west. We have 69 in Orlando, 69 in Tallahassee, 66 in Jacksonville for the most part, around the low 70s. But there is a lot of moisture in the air, and the more moisture means the more likelihood of a storm forming. And now as we look into the current temperatures, it is 69 in Tallahassee, 72 in Pensacola, and 66 in Jacksonville, as Pensacola is getting very hit by this severe weather outbreak and tornado warning, as Tallahassee is currently in a tornado watch. And now as we go into the satellite and radar, as we see that activity out by Pensacola, let me zoom out here, as we see there was a tornado outside Baghdad that was 50 miles per hour. There has been cars blown off I-10. It is a very dangerous storm, and it might impact Tallahassee soon. We are in a warning until 4 a.m. So be clear of the roads until then. If you are out now, make sure to take cover because it will come and it will be very dangerous, and you don't want to be caught in something that could possibly threaten your life. And now as we look into the outside of Orlando and Jacksonville, the rest of Florida is pretty clear, but still hot and very muggy out. So that dew point is very close to that temperature. And as we look into the current dew point, there we go, 65 in Tallahassee, very close to the temperature, around 69. 65 in Orlando, 69 in West Palm Beach, 63 in Jacksonville, 60 in Pensacola. That means a lot of moisture is in the atmosphere at the moment. And now as we look into the, as I said, the dew point is very active right now. And the radar, as we look around Florida, we have a lot of, not much activity in South Florida, but looking up and around here, there is not much activity. Down in Miami, very clear. Few spotted showers outside Naples and North Miami, south of West Palm Beach. And now as we go into the future cast, as we see around Tuesday at 8 p.m., we see that storm cell over there increasingly coming towards Florida as that band will create heavy winds, 20 miles per hour, wind gusts up to 40 maybe. In the future cast of Wednesday, it will clear out and Tallahassee will have clear weather after the storm. But now as we are going to go over to the desk with Casey.
Well, thank you very much, Colleen. Now, let's just clarify to all of you out there, there is a tornado watch in effect for Tallahassee and surrounding regions, mainly to our west, Leon County actually being the easternmost, till 4 a.m. Eastern, 3 a.m. Central Time for some of our western counties.
Yeah, again, conditions favorable for tornadic activity, so it's something we'll be keeping a very close eye on here in the evening or overnight hours, giving information that you need. That's why we're here to do that for you. But what I want to talk about now is those tornado safety tips, severe weather safety as well.
Absolutely. If you see that tornado warning in your area, of course, the first step is to get indoors if you aren't already, preferably to the lowest level of your home in an interior room. Conveniently, the FSU weather station is in that exact location.
Absolutely. If you have a basement, that's definitely where you want to be in a severe weather situation, or if not, get into a bathroom closet, something like that. Cover yourself with pillows and blankets so that you can do that and get as many walls between you and the outside as possible is what you want to do.
And make sure if wind damage is a threat like it may be around here tonight, of course, keep those batteries charged up as much as you can beforehand, of course, and if possible, have a backup generator on supply ready to go in case that power does get knocked out, because we are expecting some scattered power outages across some of the area tonight.
Yeah, we'll be giving you those numbers as they do come in throughout the evening and overnight hours, as well as they do come in from the different power services around Tallahassee.
As of now, of course, let's just shift the focus a little bit here. We have no active tornado warnings throughout Florida now, but we do have some severe thunderstorm warnings to talk about, namely in Washington and Holmes County in the central parts of the Panhandle.
Yeah, Definiak Springs, we're talking about a pretty serious situation there, actually, in parts of Walden, Holmes County there in the Florida Panhandle region. So we're watching as this does move further east of squall line.
Yeah, that's going to be moving, of course, moving its way towards here. We are expecting to come around probably about 2 in the morning, roughly. Of course, that could change as the storms begin to. They have picked up speed as they have tracked eastward over the past few hours.
Yeah, we'll be watching as they do advance eastward, as they do move closer toward our area and the severe weather parameters do come into place. But right now, we'll go ahead and take it over for a southeast look at things with Tyler.
Okay, so we're going to be looking at the southeastern United States, and you can see where it's very warm outside across the southeast. 69 degrees right now at 11 o'clock in Tallahassee. That's pretty warm. And these southerly winds are bringing in extremely warm temperatures for this time of year. We started out a little bit cooler than we are right now. 56 degrees was the morning low in Tallahassee, and 60s and 70s downstate. The cooler weather in the northern portion of the southeast is what is coming for our region after we get this cold front out. Today's highs were in the upper 70s, so that's about 10 degrees above the average. Visible satellite, well, this isn't really helpful because we got the sun's no longer up, but there is a very high risk of severe weather, or at least a moderate risk of severe weather, very high for our forecast area over the western Florida Panhandle, with an enhanced risk a little bit further to the east across the Tallahassee area, and a marginal risk down towards Gainesville. But this is actually a very high risk for our region, some of the highest risks we had seen since 2009. And in that moderate risk area right here, we have some strong to severe thunderstorms over the western Florida Panhandle that will likely come in. The one other thing that's important to note is that the storms will be able to go through, and then once we go through, it'll be very windy. But now we're going to send it back over to Ayesha with Local 2.
Thank you, Tyler. We are going to take it at a local look of the weather right now. Let me get situated with some current conditions on campus right now. 69 degrees with overcast. So those clouds are coming in, folks, so be ready and be prepared. Be prepared, don't be scared. That's the best bet for you. 65 is a dew point here in Tallahassee right now. Humidity at 87%. 87% means my hair is a mess, folks. That means it's just frizzing up. gusts at 22 miles per hour. That is pretty significant. If you're outside, please stay indoors. It's not a good look for you. Not a good look for hair either. Satellite and radar, you can see the storm systems moving in our area, coming towards our area right now. It's going to be pretty severe, folks. You want to stay inside. FSU is closed until 10 a.m. tomorrow. Also FAMU as well. TCC, you're closing at 12 p.m. Until then, folks, just stay inside. Current relative humidity, 87% in Tallahassee. How much moisture is in the air over how much the moisture air can hold. So that's a lot of moisture for our area. Quincy's at 100%. Doesn't mean it's raining there, folks, but it just means that there's a lot of moisture in that area. Carabel at 100% as well. These are favorable conditions for severe weather. So please stay tuned. All night we'll be covering it with you guys. Current winds coming from the south. Lots of moisture from the south. The Gulf of Mexico is pretty warm. So we're getting warm air coming from the south. 13 miles per hour in Tallahassee, 14 in Quincy. Just a lot of warm air coming from the Gulf of Mexico. Moving on into our futurecast, you can see this cold front is going to come through with a lot of moisture associated with it. Folks, the wind gust tomorrow is going to be a big problem for our area. We're going to see up to 40 miles per hour. It's possible. So if you're outside tomorrow, be aware because it's going to be pretty windy outside. Wednesday, that moisture is going to come through. We're not going to see much rain after Wednesday. It's going to be cleared up, folks, but it will be severe tonight. So please stay indoors. 8 a.m., 64 degrees. We're starting out tomorrow. A little rain might stick around. It'll pass through, though. 12 p.m., 69 degrees. You can see we're not moving up that much due to a lot of cloud cover in our area. Temperatures are not going to go that high. 62 at 5 p.m. So make sure you know how heavy these storms are going to be. Tonight's forecast, 64 degrees. The southwesterly winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. But that's not the big case, folks. Gust is the big case. So we're going to see gusts, winds coming from the south. Just make sure you know that they're going to be pretty heavy and these storms are going to be pretty severe. Tomorrow's forecast, 70 degrees with 60% chance of rain in the morning only. We're only going to see that morning rain. Later on, the rain is going to move out of the area, and we're going to see drier conditions later on in our week, which is awesome because who's tired of severe weather, right? You just want to move on and see this 5-day forecast. 70 degrees on Wednesday, but beautiful conditions later on. Just wait for the beautiful conditions, guys. It's coming. You don't have to. Definitely stick around for it because we're going to have some nice conditions later on and you're going to love it. I mean, sunshine on Saturday, Sunday, right. What more can you ask for?
Well, yeah, after the storm clears out, we're going to have a lot of beautiful days right after that. So
yes.
Amazing days to look forward to.
So you have to be safe in order for these things to come, like tornadoes and such. You always want tornado safety in your area.
You do want tornado safety. So please, one of the things is if you live in a mobile home, please try to Don't be in it because mobile homes are a very, very, very dangerous.
Definitely dangerous situation there.
Yeah.
If you are in a mobile home, please seek shelter at a friend's house. Schools are open usually during severe weather. Try to do that. Please plan ahead accordingly.
Yes, please plan ahead accordingly. And if you are in a good structural building, make sure you're in the deepest, innermost part of the building and away from windows.
That's right. Definitely be away from that glass area and make sure you have walls. The best place to go is actually the bathroom.
The bathroom, get pillows, get your mattresses, stuff the whole family in there, and make sure you can cover yourself up. Just make sure.
Definitely.
You know,
it is a possibility, folks. Always got to be prepared. Don't be scared. But we are going to send it to another look with Jake for some weather.
Thanks a lot, guys. Let's talk severe weather. Of course, that has been the theme of the show. Let's jump right into it. Let's start off the current radar across the entire southeast. We see those tornado warnings popping up and disappearing as the day has gone on. Lots of thunderstorms moving their way towards the east, starting in New Orleans, originating in that Baton Rouge, New Orleans area. Lots of warnings out there. Earlier in the day, those are starting to move their way into the panhandle, spawning, of course, as we've talked about, lots of warnings throughout really the entirety of the area. Now, let's start with the severe weather outlook. This is for the rest of the night tonight into Wednesday morning. We see Tallahassee right on the borderline of this orange and red regions. Tallahassee technically is in the orange region, meaning an enhanced risk, which means that tornadoes are a distinct possibility. Of course, the moderate areas shaded in red that included Pensacola, which was hit earlier in the evening with a tornado. That means strong tornadoes, strong and prolonged tornadoes, are a distinct possibility. Of course, that threat is pushing its way eastward. Some of the westernmost regions of the area are not really as impacted right now. Historical severe weather, of course, this is we're not quite in the moderate risk, but this is the first time that Leon County has seen a moderate risk for severe weather issued by the Storm Prediction Center since April 2nd, 2009. Almost 7 years since we've had that. This day resulted in numerous wind damage reports across the entirety of the region, the highest of which being a 61-mile-per-hour wind gust, cracking that severe threshold located at the Don Veller Seminole Golf Course and Club during the afternoon that day. Let's examine the setup deeply here. I'm going to move over to the other side here just to show you. We have this jet stream, this big trough extending throughout the entirety of the country. That low pressure centered right now in parts of northern Louisiana, and this southeasterly flow coming from Florida, bringing in that Gulf moisture. Lots of convergence really in this zone of interest really, stretching from southeast Louisiana all the way through the Panhandle, setting up for what has been quite the active evening out here throughout the entirety of the day, and that's going to be setting up for, again, another active pretty few hours around the rest of Tallahassee. Now let's look specifics into the tornado risk that the Storm Prediction Center issues. Tallahassee is under a 10% risk, which is, as light as that may sound, it's definitely something to keep in mind. Out to our west, we have a 15% chance, which also includes the distinct possibility for strong tornadoes in EF 2, 3, 4, or 5, winds in excess of potentially 150 miles an hour associated with many of these storms, pushing their way again towards our east. The tornado threat will be weakening after it passes over Tallahassee, but into the night, again, it's going to be a pretty active situation out there. All right, so now let's finish things off here with our severe weather threat through the rest of the night. Again, wind is the primary threat. We're expecting lots of straight line wind damage. Again, those severe thunderstorm warnings in Washington and Holmes County. Moderate threats of tornadoes and hail, which is not really a norm around here. You got to keep that in mind as we go through the night. Flooding is a low threat, but there is going to be a lot of rain falling as the night carries on. So again, all of these things are definitely something to be considered. Have those weather radios ready if you are going to be really paying attention at all to any of this situation. So that's all I have for the severe weather outlook. Let's take it back to the desk with Ayesha and Andres.
Thank you, Jake. Yes, breaking news in our area right now. We have a tornado warning in effect.
In Dothan in northeast Houston County in Alabama. And the storm is moving to the northeast at 45 miles per hour.
That's right. And this warning expires at 11 p.m. Central Time.
Yeah, so if you have family members over there, please tell them to take cover right now. And don't take this lightly because this storm is coming and it's not stopping.
The difference between a watch and warning means it's in effect right now. So that means you need to take cover immediately, take precaution, know what to do. Definitely be prepared.
And I know a lot of people like window watching. They want to go out and see what's going on. This is not a game, folks. Please don't be near any window because any flying debris can easily come in and injure you or anybody around you.
This is definitely not something you want to watch. It's very severe right now. This is for northern Houston County and Alabama. Just make sure you know what's going on and you're weather ready. Yes. Definitely.
And it's also producing, we have reports of large hail being produced by this storm that's going through Dothan right now.
And hail can damage your cars. It can damage your house. Areas of windows, like we said before, just please take precaution.
Yes, and a piece of hail is falling at free fall speed, so it really hurts if you get pegged by it, so please be indoors.
That's right. But we are going to take it to another look at a local with Ulises.
All right, thanks, Ayesha. Right now, throughout the Big Bend, we notice temperatures all throughout into the 60s and 70s right now. Cloud cover mostly over to Tallahassee. We do see the rain further out to the west, and clear skies further out to the south. Beautiful conditions for Orlando, but conditions all throughout the state of Florida will begin to deteriorate over the next couple of hours, especially in Tallahassee. We do see that line of storms right now over into west of Mariana. We do have that tornado warning over into Houston County, affecting the city of Dothan with quarter-size hail. So take cover until 11 o'clock Central Standard Time. Go to the lowest floor possible, or anywhere away from the windows, like bathrooms, closets, anywhere indoors away from windows. That's what we recommend. When it comes to those lightning strikes, very impressive, especially over Dothan and west of Mariana. So if you're taking I-10, be on the lookout. We do not recommend driving throughout tonight, especially with a moderate severe weather risk and enhanced over the Tallahassee area. We are under a tornado watch in Tallahassee until 4 a.m.
3 central for our western viewing area. The futurecast for the next 24 to 36 hours, we do notice that that line of storms will come in sometime into the overnight hours. By the time we get to tomorrow afternoon, though, we will notice the cloud cover will begin to gradually go down, and it will become more of a wind event. Winds could be up to 35 miles per hour, gusts up to tropical storm force. So after these severe weather pushes through, just keep that in mind. So if any power lines are taken down, unfortunately, throughout this system, throughout the overnight hours, City of Tallahassee, when it comes to the utilities, they can only work up to winds up to 25 to 30 miles per hour. So if that were to happen, it will probably be till Thursday before even power can be restored, depending how strong those winds howl tomorrow. As we go into Thursday, though, conditions will finally begin to improve and better times are ahead, especially as we march towards the weekend with the FSU baseball as they face College of Charleston, which is great news for the Seminoles. When it comes to the day planner for tomorrow, the rain will still be around early on. The cloud cover will eventually gradually fade out as we go deep into the afternoon. Temperatures are going to be into the upper 60s, but it will be mostly the wind, and it'll be shifting all the way from the south to the west and eventually to the north. So you will eventually get that chilly wind by the time we get to late into the afternoon tomorrow. Tonight, strong to severe thunderstorms we're going to be posting throughout FSU weather all throughout the night, so stay tuned for any updates. We'll be here keeping it live, and tomorrow temperatures are going to rise to that 70-degree mark, and some sunshine will break through late in the day. But for the next 7 days, great conditions, especially for the weekend. Cooler times, especially as we go into the weekend. Morning lows are going to flirt with the freezing mark into those mid-30s. Afternoon highs are going to rebound very nicely into the 70s early next week. But once we get through tonight, the good times roll ahead, and now we're going to send it over to the desk with Andres and Ayesha.
All right, thank you, Ulises. We're actually going to make sure you guys know that tornado warning in Dothan is actually radar indicated. So it hasn't been confirmed right now on the ground, but it is radar indicated, which means we see some rotation in that area. So you just want to be safe and take precaution.
Yes, and considering that it's nighttime, it's also a little bit harder to confirm tornadoes because, you know, the lack of visibility.
Right.
But that's why we trust radar a lot in these situations. So please, radar indicated tornado, don't take this lightly. Take the safety precautions that you need to take.
That's right. And just to touch up on it again, FSU and FAMU will be closed until 10 a.m. tomorrow. You will not have class, so please make sure you know that. TCC, 12 p.m. for you.
Yes. So enjoy, please stay tuned to us, but enjoy the late start to the day tomorrow.
Yes, definitely try to stay inside.
Yes.
Not the best bet to go outside. We're going to see those storms come into our area around late morning, around 3 a.m.
Yes, about 3 a.m. The storm should be clear out of the way, so please, folks, stay tuned.
And just make sure you know wind gusts 40 miles per hour tomorrow. That's definitely a precaution. But I am student meteorologist Ayesha Wilkinson.
And I'm student meteorologist Andres Rondon.
Have a good night, folks. Stay safe and be prepared.